So there is a binary in each of these contracts that actually do not support your statement. And that is the key that I keep on being so passionate when I come on these panels and tell persons, in order for you to even to be considered as either quote unquote a transit country and or a country that is paid to have these individuals, which the minimum payment is $1 million per individual. You have to be able to meet that initial benchmark. And if you want, I can provide you with that information privately, because it's a long document, and that's not my word. That's directly from the United States government.
Okay, Marsha, did you listen to Minister Chang at the press conference where he said that if any of the TCNs or the migrants coming out of that program want to stay, they can, but they would have to file for refugee status? Did you hear that? Was that clear to you?
And that is not in line with the program, and that is my statement to you.
No, madam. Because I listened to you keenly a while ago, but you have not disputed the point. My thing is, if you want to apply for a refugee, file for refugee status, then that's a separate process, which is handled outside of the TCN program, yeah, locally. That is my point, but you have not disputed the point all now.
I cannot dispute the point, because I have advised you where your point will end up in arbitrary, in a legal quandrum with the government of Jamaica. Maybe that part flies over your head.
Did you hear what I said a while ago? I said it's a legal process. It is handled by the courts.
It can, but the key part.
And before
can I ask you a simple question?
Wait a moment.
Have you read any of the 34
countries' agreement? Before it goes to the International Court of Human Rights, before it goes to the Inter-American Court for Human Rights, it is dealt with locally first. The case must be promulgated first, locally. So what are you talking about?
My question again to you: have you reviewed any of the 34 MOUs by other countries?
I have no need to review 34 MOUs.
Then I'm going to put myself on mute.
Why would I need to review 34 MOUs? Why? For what?
Because each country's MOUs are different based on the classification within the program.
Marcia, the question that you asked is nonsense. What impetus would I have to review 34 MOUs for 34 states? Why? Why?
Because the government of Jamaica is about to embark into this arena.
Let us do a poll. Has anybody on this platform reviewed 34 MOUs under the TCN program? Has anybody? Please.
And that does not say that you should not educate yourself regarding the information.
But there's not what we're talking about is two different things.
I want to hear the conversation between Mr. Guru and Marsha.
I was the one that was speaking and I allowed Marsha to respond to him.
Extreme. I want to hear the conversation. No, the conversation she forward this up. I want to hear, come here right from the part that they angry they know. May I write me soon come back after your part. Go ahead, Marsha and Guru. I want to make sense of this argument.
The reason
I'm still waiting on Marsha to tell me what to dispute.
The reason why you would want to review it, because each MOUs varies, and we need to see. Eventually, it will be released, whether they realize it or not. There's watchdogs out there, but it also is going to be released in order for us to know what is our MOU agreement. However, sir, the U.S. law requires that the government not to deport anyone to a country in which one will be prosecuted or tortured, or, in my humble opinion, face harm. So what that means is that Jamaica has signed that they would welcome anyone. That is the reason why Mr. Chang said the key word, opt, if the person decides to stay. However, sir, with all due respect, with what you're stating to me, the third country deportation that sends persons to these specific countries has to guarantee that they be free from the privilege of harm. And that is the reason why I asked that question, not to show any abundance of knowledge over you or not, because it has to be written that there is another structure beyond our own court system, which each of these agreement addresses. And that's the reason why I asked you, because to be honest with you, sir, I have only so far read 18 out of the 34 for my own disclosure, because each of them is very detailed and specific to that country.
All right. Thank you, Marsha. Scrubber, I'm going to read something for you. Give me 2 minutes. Third country nationals can apply for refugee status in Jamaica under Jamaica immigration and refugee policies. If a TCN arrives in Jamaica and wishes to remain as a refugee, they must formally apply for asylum status through the local courts. So what are you telling me, Marsha? That's what I was saying all along. That's what I was saying all along. And if you want the source, madam, it's on JIS. That's all I've been saying.
And I am stating to you my position, and my position will not move with the goalposts of something that I already know. Each individual MOUs for each country varies. So if, for example, Marsha Mitchell is in the TC program, and for example, hypothetically, I applied to the courts and I'm denied. Now that is a quandrum, because there are some individuals out there that are in that quandrum of legal status. And that is also, just because you can apply to a court for asylum, and just because we, as a sitting member of the UN, has committed to unprivilege of a human rights, does not mean that individual will be granted asylum.
I'm sorry, but you're saying a lot of nothing. With the
Maybe it's
greatest of
nothing
respect,
to
madam.
you.
No,
Maybe
with the
it's nothing
greatest
to
of
you, but
respect.
the law specify what I'm stating to you.
Marsha,
Because just because I put a case for asylum doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
No.
And you know that.
With the greatest of respect, Marsha, you're saying a lot of nothing, because all I was saying a while ago, and I just read the source. All I was saying, if a TCN, if a person on the TCN program wants to stay, they would have to go through the local courts. That's all I'm saying. And I just read from JIS, it backs up my point. So I don't know what you're saying. You're saying a lot of nothing, really.
And I am going to say it again. The prejudicial to the interests of the United States has to meet each of those MOU for all countries who deem to participate in this program. And that is not nothing. That is right there in congressional documentation. That means something.
Can you show us that congressional document?
You have the same ability as I, because you just try to insult me and tell me this is about nothing. So you do your research just as I have my research to back up my points.
Then show us the research, madam. I just showed you mine. Read from your papers or your archive. I just read from mine.
Okay. You can go directly to the U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations and see exactly what I just referred to you.
Because all I was saying, if a person that comes to Jamaica under the TCN program wants to apply for refugee status, they can. They just have to apply for asylum, and that process is handled by the local courts. That's all I've been saying.
And I am stating to you, and my position will not change because you asked me for my source, and I will give it to you so you can do your homework. Is the U.S. Congressional Communication on Community Meeting that was held December 2025.
I don't understand what you're saying a lot of nothing, really, madam.
Okay, I'm not going to sit on and make somebody insult me when they just asked me for my source, and I gave them my source, but my source does not meet their position.
Mr. Guru, she just told you the source, sir, with all due respect. So you have to go maybe take a walk and go over there and read. Just a second. Extreme, come back.
Yes, so Marsha, my question to you, I don't know if you have any knowledge of the to respond to. Do these people know their final destination? Are you aware if they know their final destination?
It depends again on the country. because that is the key thing that I'm reading in these MOUs. It depends on their country, where they're selected. That is the reason why, and I'm glad the minister came out and said that Jamaica will only take English-speaking individuals. That is a big emphasis on the type of individuals that they will take.
But I have not read any of the MOUs that you are referring to. However, based on what I understand from the TCN program, right? It says transit. Earlier I heard I am the one saying that it is not their final destination. So it's like you're coming to Mobile, but I really Kingston you go and you just stop off at Mobile, just like how him stop off at Washington before him go him yard. Is a connecting flight them have through Jamaica? What is their final destination?
Again, that is the more critical part where I was trying to explain to HR. Once the agreement is signed, those important details will be outlined in the treaties and other international acts, treaties between what they call migration and refugee.
But I'm referring to the individual themselves. If it is that let's say John Brown, does John Brown, who is getting being transited into or out of the United States, does he know his final destination? Is he aware of his final destination?
Can I answer the question?
Yes.
No, I'm talking to Marsha.
It depends.
I'd like to borrow some of your time just to ask Marsha a question when you're finished. Please, if you could.
To be honest with you,
Rob, could I answer the question?
no one can be transferred to a country without them being aware of. There are cases and they have been brought back to the US. However, pursuant to, what's the law? Because I know somebody going to try to say, I got you. 89 statute 80 and subsection 271, which is the treaties of other international acts, which is the part of what this agreement will be based on. Under that, who is the head, Secretary Marco Rubio, will provide the evidence of the person and also the means of the transfer. If that country do not want to accept that individual, then there
The
will
name of the transfer?
no extreme. It will provide a detailed, what they call shadow doc of that individual. And then they will provide to the national security minister, who most likely would either give it to JDF or JCF, and the whole team will have to vet the individual. The key thing that everybody needs to do a sigh of relief is that Jamaica position, and I'm not for JLP, I'm not for PMP, has put in their bilateral talks that they will only accept English-speaking individuals. So individual who may be en route to some of the places in South America will not be bound for Jamaican soil. That's the first thing. But underneath the treaty and other international act is what this specific MOU will be based on, and it goes to HR Gru's point, in which the treaty will outline the courts of law and equitable jurisdiction in which he's talking in reference to. So no one can say that a person may have been transferred based on force or not of knowledge.
Marsha, can I ask you two quick questions, please?
Okay, and I appreciate your response, Miss Marsha. And unlike everybody else, I'm open to learn. I am not here acting like I know everything like the others were trolling people in the comment. But go ahead, TC.
Okay, Marsha, the two questions I would like to ask you. Is there a reason, and I don't know if you know, why these people that are being sent to other countries, is there a reason why they cannot be deported directly from the United States of America? That's question one. Question two is, I think I'm not sure I heard you correctly. Are you saying that each person that is being deported it's $1 million per person? Is that what you said?
If the host country takes them based on congressional documents that I have researched and found in the Congressional Congress, each country will receive $1 million minimum for that. And that is to date. I have not known if it says basically to date, the Trump administration has paid at least one country more than $1 million per third national received. What the number is, the financial number for Jamaica, I am not going to say something I don't know. How